Hey guys, welcome to Quinian's Budget Crafts. So if we're going to have cannons, we got to have cannonballs, and a good way to store them. So you could use about whatever round material you like here. I'm using airsoft BBs because they're pretty much the exact same size as the cannon barrel. Just put a whole bunch of them in a cup and paint them up the same way you did the cannons. First the silver, pour that out on wax paper, let it dry, and then do it again with the metallic black. As far as how many cannonballs you need, a whole bunch, a lot more than I've shown here. At least that is if you're following along with the pirate ship build. Once they're all good and dry, just go ahead and collect them up somewhere. So the first one we'll make is the classic cannonball pyramid. I made this to be 1 inch using coffee stir sticks and some of this really thin cardboard. So now when you go to cut out your cardboard square, you actually need it to be a little bit less than 1 inch to make up for the space that 2 of those sticks take up. So just put a little bit of hot glue along the edge of your cardboard, stick a coffee stir stick to it, and if your fingers are too big like mine, use a popsicle stick or something to help you mash it up against the cardboard. Trim off the excess, do the other side, and then put the slightly longer ones on. Again, if you're following the pirate ship build, you will need 8 of these. Once you've gotten all 8 of them made, go ahead and mix up some brown paint with some Mod Podge. If you're worried about getting this all over your fingers, you can glue the bottom of it to a little stick like this. And then just go ahead and paint the whole thing. Even with the hot glue, these are still pretty fragile, so the Mod Podge will help. Once they're all painted and dried, go ahead and use something like some clear tacky glue or super glue. Put on a layer of it, and then put down a layer of cannonballs. I'm using the liquid super glue here because it flows really nicely. If you're using the liquid super glue, go ahead and put a little drop in between each cannonball, and then stack on 9 more. Do that again, stacking on 4 more, and one more time for the last one on top. Just go ahead and do that on all 8 of them. So there you go, those are looking pretty cool. But there's not a ton of floor space in the lower decks, and I wouldn't think that these would hold the cannonballs real nice if you hit a rogue wave or got shot or something. You don't want cannonballs flying across the deck. So let's make some shelves. So these shelves are just 3 little shelves. They are glued to 8 of those stir sticks all glued together. To glue the 8 of those together, just hold 8 of them down and then smear glue all over the back of them. Just run the tip over it until it's kind of flat, but it'll be fine. So I wanted these to be 2 inches, but not quite a full 2 inches because then the cannonballs will be loose. So line up 8 cannonballs, put the cardboard next to it, and use them to measure how wide you actually need the shelf to be. Go ahead and trim that off. Glue a stick to the front of it. Put a cannonball on it with it resting up against your stick and use another stick to figure out how wide you need it front to back. Or you could just cheat and watch this video. It's a 1/4 inch. You need your cardboard strips to be 1/4 inch. Then just glue a stick to each side. And when you glue it to the backing, glue it to the bottom board. The next shelf you skip 2 and then glue it to the third. Again, skip 2 and glue it to the third, leaving 1 as a backing for the very top row. Again, if you're following the pirate ship build, you will need 8 of these, which means 24 shelves total. If you have a balsa wood strip cutter, now would be a good time to use it. Once you've got all the shelves glued on, take another stick and put it on either side of the back, just to keep it nice and flat. In a quick test fit, we can see that the cannonballs fit nice and perfect. So once you've got all 8 of those made, go ahead and paint them up just like you did the pyramid ones. To keep the cannonballs in there, you can use some super glue gel. I wouldn't use the liquid here, but the gel's pretty good. Or the clear tacky glue. I ended up using both because I ran out of super glue. They both work pretty well, it's just the tacky glue takes a couple hours to dry. Just put your glue down and drop the balls in. If you need to adjust them, use your X-Acto knife or something else metal so you don't stick yourself to them. And fill them all up. Alright, so each cannon has its own pile of cannonballs, but what about reserves? We'll make a pallet for that. The pallet works exactly like the pyramid, but much larger. You only need to put the cannonballs on the very edge of each level. You can stack this as high as you want. I went with 4 levels high. The very top one you do have to fill up completely. You can leave it just like that and call it good, or you can try and make a little cargo net. Just take a bunch of jute cord, kind of weave it together somehow, glue the points where the cords touch each other. And before you put the net over the crate, go ahead and repaint some of the cannonballs that might need a touch-up. Some irregularities are totally fine, but you don't want any white spots. Once everything's all retouched and whatnot, go ahead and glue your net down to the top of your crate. You can make this net as tight a weave as you want to, or as wide as you want. However, I figured I'd go with one that just kind of clings to the crate, so it's there. The appearance of a net is there, but it's not huge or taking up a lot of room. The jute cord will stick to the wood pretty easily with some super glue or crazy glue. And trim the excess rope off however you feel. I went ahead and cut it off flush with the edge of the crate. There you go, guys, a good way to store your cannonballs. Sorry, but I just launched it, so I gotta do the sales pitch. If you guys would like to support the channel, you can do so on Patreon or on Ko-Fi, however you say that. You don't have to. I will, of course, keep making videos either way, but a couple bucks would be appreciated. Either way, don't forget to like, share, comment, and all that good stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one.